Hi Lucia, my name is Daphne. I'm one of the essay characters here at ieltspodcast.com. I am extremely sorry for the enormous delay you have had in getting your essays back to you. They've just been passed to me, obviously should have been passed to me earlier, and I know that you've got your exam release soon. You've got a lot of corrections outstanding. Okay, I'm going to do 4 for you now. I'm going to do them in two groups because I think the email will blow up if I try and do 4 recordings all in one go. So I'm going to do 2 and then send you 2 more in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Adults do less exercise nowadays. Some people think that people can be encouraged to live healthy lives through sporting events such as the Olympics. Others think there are better ways to encourage adults for exercise or to exercise. Discuss both views. Okay. Opinions are divided on whether there are more effective ways to encourage adults to exercise rather than sporting events. Although watching sports competitions might lead some to do exercise. Okay, lead, or you could have motivate some to do exercise. I believe that organising sporting clubs within communities and the development of technology can be successful solutions to make adults more active or more regularly active. I wouldn't say constantly, that's literally all the time. More regularly active. In this essay, the importance of sports events and other measures to encourage adults to practice exercise will be discussed. Okay, good. Nice intro, very informative. It's been proven that some sports events are likely to influence people's. Now, I wouldn't put stimulation there, I will put desire to practice a sport. This is because what we see and listen to can have an impact on our habits. Good. For instance, the Olympics and World Cup are followed by a broad number of people worldwide, and athletes' performance and all the vibrant environment and hype you could have surrounding. So surrounding rather than lived. Hype we don't use very often, but actually would be a perfect word to use here. Sort of that's all the excitement surrounding these events might influence members of the public to try a sport such as running. Good, very nice using examples here. Good sentence, you've developed that nicely. Studies have shown that during the 2017 World Cup, the number of senior football players joining local clubs. I don't think you need to repeat football. Almost doubled in countries such as Spain. Good, therefore sports events. We keep on repeating sports events. Can we find another way around that? Watching matches or games or participating in games or being a fan maybe is likely to contribute to a healthier lifestyle by, again, don't have stimulating, the wrong word, but you could have motivating viewers to become involved in exercise. We don't practice exercise in English. We do sport. We don't practice. Not usually. We play or do. However, sports events are temporary, and so measures adopted by local communities throughout the year. Why don't we have global, because we're talking World Cup, sort of global, large scale. So if you're going to repeat, then put some adjectives in there to make it different rather than just saying the same thing again and again. So global, large scale kind of sort of helps you a little bit there. Measures adopted by local communities throughout the year and the development of certain technologies appear to be more effective in the promotion of healthier lifestyles. The most important sports events tend to happen during the summertime, but people should be active all year. Good, I like how you're getting into your recommendations. To do so, councils could create sporting clubs during the weekends to include as many adults as possible. Really nice. For example, in many cities and towns across the UK, there's been a growing number of running groups, which has contributed to healthier communities. Very nice. As for technology, because nowadays most adults can no longer live without mobile phones and access to the internet, apps have been developed by health systems such as NHS to encourage and support individuals in the daily practice of running or walking, even just for 30 minutes. Excellent. This is totally perfect. Excellent. For these reasons, it can be argued that engaging local communities in the practice of exercise and some form of technology maybe go through some form of technology. It appears to be effective. You have to have an effective way to big to making exercise part of one's daily routine, or to including exercise in one's daily routine, or including exercise as a daily habit. Sorry, again. In summary, I believe that the promotion of exercise within local communities and exercise apps have more potential to make people more active than simply watching sports events do, or than simply being engaged in sports events do. Really, really nice. That is a very well argued essay. So you've answered the question. The organisation, the coherence is very nice and clear. Grammar's excellent, apart from a few little tiny things I'm picking up on. Vocabulary lexis also looks very nice. Nice wide range there. Just avoid the repetitions of words. If you see it's coming up again and again, you're writing it again and again, try and find another way around. Okay, so the second one we're doing is the cell phone chart here. Okay, information about the percentage of cell phone users in the US. Okay, compare the information and we're going to make comparisons. At least 150 words. Okay. You said you were worried about not having enough words, I think, didn't you? What have we got? 159, that's okay. That's okay. The line graph, good, provides information about the number of mobile phone users in the United States from 1985 to 2010. Good. Overall, it's clear that there was a constant growth in cell phone ownership across the whole period. Good. Okay, this little bit here, the period starts with the lowest in contrast, ends with the peak. I don't think you need that. I think that's kind of fairly obvious. So we're going to find something else to put in your overall statement. So as we go down here, we might shuffle it around a bit. So in 1985, only, Americans used mobile phones, a figure that went up considerably 5 times later to, to nearly, However, from 1995, the number of mobile phone users rose even more significantly by approximately 6 times, reaching, good, okay. That is fine. I wouldn't say in addition here. Just go. In the following 15 years, the number of cell phone users continued to increase substantially, reaching figures over 100 million by when? Following 15 years. Okay. So we're saying the following 15 years? I don't know if you mean 15 years. I think you might mean 5 years. Because if you've got 100 million, it's coming up about here. So I think over the next 5 years, and then that's right, from 2000 to 2005, the American almost doubled, jumping from 109 to approximately, before reaching the peak. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Good. You've got that all absolutely right, but you wanted to say something a little bit more about it. So I want to go back to this overall sentence. There was a constant growth, okay, from a slow start. Now, we're not going to give any numbers in this bit. From a slow start, numbers increased, or the overall trend, let's do that one. Okay, the overall trend increased dramatically between 2000 to 2010, doubling almost every year, every 5 years, something like that. Or almost doubling every 5 years. You just need a little blah, blah, blah sentence to go in here, and then this is excellent. Okay, so the rest of your information is absolutely fine. You've got nice language in here. Significantly rose, dramatically increased, all these numbers, doubled, jumping. You've got all the vocabulary in there. That's absolutely fine. Just need a little bit something else in your overall sentence. Okay. Translation apps. I'm just looking at how long this recording is, because I don't want it to get so long you can't manage it all. But let's keep going a bit on this one. So people are using a lot of online translation apps. Advantages and disadvantages. It's an interesting question, isn't it? It's true that individuals tend to access too many translation apps. Okay, this is got a bit strong this at the beginning. Okay, I think you should be saying, making more of a general statement. Okay, nowadays, it is very easy, or nowadays, um, uh, internet, um, internet tools which convert one language to another at the touch of a button are widely used. Something a bit more general. Although frequent use of online translation services can reduce the knowledge of a second language, I wouldn't say idiom, second language, and affect some traditional business and jobs, I believe there are clearly more benefits. Good. Benefits when using these type of, yes, tools. I wouldn't say apps too much, I would say tools or technology tools. In theory, constant access to online language translation applications can lead to 3 minor consequences. Good. I like this, where this is going. Firstly, it can compromise the proficiency in a second language because when people use apps such as capital letter, they are likely to copy and paste the word or text they want to convert for their language without even trying to read. Well done, this is very true. Or spoken in another language. In addition, this software might affect the sales of traditional dictionaries and language services as a job. Because, so just develop this a bit more. Tell me why. Yeah, especially on the teaching. Tell me why this, the translating. For instance, it's been shown that nowadays dictionaries in paper format cost about half the original price due to low demand for the product. I'm just, all right, because I know you're developing it now, but I want, because their relevance has been undermined. That's what I was thinking of there. Okay, you're not going to give me the whole argument, but just give me a little hint of what way you're going. Significant number of professionals are likely to see their job as translator threatened by a virtual program that practically does the same task, for example, when translating documents. Good. Therefore, online translation applications might limit our knowledge about a second language, as well as have a negative impact on business and professions. Really nice. Very, very good arguments here. Nevertheless, using translation apps appears to be significantly more advantageous because it can help to overcome language barriers in a faster way due to, you don't need and, just go due to its cost effectiveness. With regards to the former, users such as businessmen can easily download this type of application and they only need access the internet to find the meaning of certain words or sentences, which will certainly turn their interaction. Which will certainly, I wouldn't turn, I would certainly, let's go facilitate. So, or improve, or and improve. I'm going to have those two words instead. Sorry. Their interaction with international companies. And then you don't need this because inside these words is that. Okay. Now, this means that online translation services have allowed straight communication between individuals who speak different languages, thus helping them to understand each other in an easier and faster way. Good. As for cost effectiveness, these translation apps not only appear to be far cheaper or even free of charge compared to paper dictionaries and humans, yeah, but they also can convert words or complex text in a highly precise way for several languages without the need of different dictionaries. Good. For these reasons, there's no doubt that online translation apps have turned communication between people speaking different, not idioms. Idiom is just a phrase. Different languages or different tongues, we can say sometimes. A bit strange, but you can say it much easier and at lower costs. In summary, while translation apps might shorten our knowledge of foreign vocabulary, reduce dictionary sales, and yep, I think this software is significantly more beneficial because it's helped. Yes, fantastic, good. You're sort of repeating here what you just said there. Help millions of speakers from different languages to communicate. So I would just keep it simple. You don't need to repeat that because you just said that literally just there. Okay. All right, let's keep on going. Users of Facebook. This is a really bad picture, so it's quite, it's a bit difficult to see the actual details. So you're going to compare Global monthly users in 2016 and global monthly users, again millions, in 2017. Okay, so you're going month by month and having a look at the main differences there. I wonder how you start these tasks. So for me, I would start them when I would look at any obvious differences. So there's an obvious difference here, there's an obvious difference there, there, that's grown a lot there. Okay, I'm looking there. Wow, that's quite different. October, yeah, that's very different there. So I'm looking at, and then big fall in that one. So you kind of, with my pencil, I'm just kind of making circles in places where I want to comment. So the given bar charts provide information about the number in millions of global users of Facebook and YouTube throughout. Yes, good. Overall, it is clear that more people access Facebook than YouTube in 2016. However, a year later, YouTube became more popular as the global number of monthly users increased. So we're going to have this amazing, lovely language that you used before increased in several months. But the access, whereas, to contrast this is perfect, whereas frequency of access to Facebook remained almost the same. Good. Very nice there. In the year 2000 started with a peak in the number of YouTube users at almost 150 million, followed now you could start with a peak, but in November with a margin, okay, followed by with similar numbers being seen in November. You can't really go start the year and then suddenly jump to November, so you've got to make a connection with a similar number of users seen in November. However, these figures decreased. Now, don't use went up, went down. You can do decrease, increase, collapse, plummet, fell slightly, fell dramatically. All these lovely vocabulary words, which is what you need. By about a third in February, yep. And for the remaining months, the number of users was even lower, especially in March and October, which showed almost 0 YouTube users worldwide. Good. By contrast, so this should be a new paragraph here. By contrast, so that's a nice paragraph, that one. By contrast, the figures for Facebook were higher than that of YouTube in most of the period. As well, over 50 million people use Facebook worldwide, except in April and July, when the numbers fell to or in July, which witnessed a fall or a slight fall or dramatic fall to approximately 30 million people. Okay, so which witnessed, and then you don't have to use access Facebook. You've kind of joined it up in there. In 2017, the number of users almost doubled in January, May, June and September compared to previous year, but the remaining months showed a similar distribution compared to the previous year. Similar distribution, yeah, you don't need compared distribution to the previous year because you're already comparing here. On the other hand, the figures for YouTube access across the world rose significantly in the majority of the period, especially in March and October, as the number of global users almost 100 times that of, you don't need than, that of, okay. Nice work here. You've used some very, very good comparative structures. My main comment would be that these are, especially because you've got the comparing and you've got quite a variety of changes. You can use the word fluctuate, which is going up and down. You can have the word plummet. You can have the word collapse. There's a lot of quite strong vocab you could use here, which would be perfect. If you're not sure on that vocab, have a look online. There are some free access little videos on all about task 1, which you may find useful just on the language. Otherwise, really, really well done. I'm sorry this has been so late. I really hope you find it useful. Thank you.